I really have felt compelled, I've felt mandated to share this information with you. You are not the only ones who are missing this information. I just want to kind of give you, preface this information. Broadcast as well as print journalists in America are being blindsided, white, black, blue, or green, because of training budgets. Often you're not afforded opportunities to get out and get information. You're finding it out second, third, or not at all. And so that's why I want to make sure that we talk a little bit. Please ask questions. I'm totally in professor and teacher mode, so it's a total give and take. Stop me if I go too fast, because I want to make sure that we understand what's happening and what we're talking about. Now, Leland mentioned the word convergence. I call that a buzzword. It's a trendy word. That's why at Belmont we deliberately did not name the program anything with convergence or new media. It's called the New Century Journalism Program, so that title can go on hopefully forever without a problem. But convergence, in terms of a definition, academics as well as people in the industry can't really decide on a firm definition of this term. But this is my definition. This is my working operational definition. Convergence represents the mergers, partnerships, and cross-media relationships between and among media companies. The arrangements allow for resources to be shared, including, but not limited to, information, equipment, and talent across media platforms, including broadcast, print, online, and mobile. And right now, mobile is the quagmire. People are trying to figure out, how do we start text messaging on a continuous basis, sending pictures, etc., via mobile? So keep that in the back of your mind as we're talking about broadcast, print, and online platforms. When we talk about types of convergence, I define one of the types as sole or shared ownership. I call that a marriage because it's a contractual agreement. It merges everything from finances to physical space. Now, the operation that you may be familiar with is owned by Media General. That's down in Tampa, Florida, the Tampa News Center. Right now, their operation has broadcast, print, and online in the same building structurally. Now, they have a multimedia editor on a desk who tries to funnel information to figure out which platform the information is best utilized. Or if there's a big story, you know, who should do this piece? Who should do that piece? Who should do the other piece? So they bring that information together. Really, they only have one reporter who is truly converged, and her name is Victoria Lim. She is the consumer reporter. She actually files stories on a regular basis for broadcast, for print, and online. And she spoke last year at the Online News Association and shared the information with us. She's not paid anything more for those extra responsibilities. Surprise, surprise. And that's another area that we're not discussing. When I bring that up, I get ignored or put out of the conference because people, I don't know why they don't want to talk about compensation. It's a critical issue for everyone. Another example would be the Chicago Tribune. Obviously, they have the newspaper as well as WGN, the superstation, as well as CLTV, which is a cable network, radio, and other properties about convergence. The Lawrence World Company is in Lawrence, Kansas. This is arguably the most converged newsroom in the country, but they're quiet. They've got about 20,000 people in Lawrence, Kansas, primarily a college town, and they own the broadcast, the print, and the online in one building. But the Lawrence Journal-World, which is a privately owned company, also owns the broadband. So not only are they selling the broadcast, the print, the online, they've got the broadband. They are reaching 90% of the residents in that community. If you want to talk about power, and we're talking about the FCC, the media ownership, the concern over one entity owning so many segments of media. So they're doing it. Another type of convergence, partnerships. You may not have realized Channel 5 is converged. The News Channel 5 network is converged. It's not official, and there are many arrangements like this across the country where there's a partnership, common law marriage. It's less formal, more easily dissolved. This can be a contractual or verbal agreement. Space nor money may be shared or exchanged necessarily. It's not mandated. They may share information and resources. With News Channel 5, you've got News Channel 5, you've got KDF, you've got the cable station, you've got the Nashville Business Journal, you've got the Williamson AM. That is a converged media operation. All right? Also, Channel 2. Channel 2 has a partnership now with the Rutherford County paper, the Daily News Journal, as well as with the city paper. Those relationships are types of convergence. And we as educators at this point, most of the time we're only talking about the Tampa News Center and the Lawrence World. We aren't really dealing with other types of convergence. Pardon me. If you want to keep up with the different converged operations, there are two sites that are doing that right now. Pointer.org, and that's Poynter.org, Pointer.org, And then the American Press Institute is the other site. Those at this point are the two sites that I recognize the most when I'm looking at convergence and tracking the different types of convergence in the markets across the country. I know George just came from Knoxville, and I know Knoxville has a good operation down there that's converging and doing a great job. Was it your station? Okay. Then you're very familiar with what I'm talking about. You probably were shocked when you got here. Because Nashville's in the dark ages when it comes to this, unfortunately. Okay, the third kind, you know I had to have an open relationship. Dating. Like partnerships, but even more open. Information and resources are not shared. A meteorologist may appear in the newspaper, for example. Multiple listings on the internet. Example, a TV site advertises an upcoming newspaper series. A lot of this goes back to saving money. And many of you are not hearing about this because the corporate managers are trying to figure out, can convergence be profitable? And at this point, we're not really sure. The Tampa News Center has realized a profit, but they're not positive it's because of the convergent relationship. They're trying to figure out where the money is. We talk about future employment. I'm going to show you guys a couple of clips as well. But the multimedia journalist is able to tell those stories across platforms.